In this lesson, we're going to be looking at division basics. Our objectives are to understand division rules, to understand division of integers, understand division of decimals, and understand division of fractions. Our vocabulary is longhand division. This is our standard division, what you've learned in the past. Reducing, using division to have smaller numbers in fractions. So basically, it's division, it's looking at a fraction and using division to make it a little bit easier fraction to deal with. Reciprocal, flipping a fraction so numerator and denominator switch spots. So instead of the numerator being on the top, it goes to the bottom, and the denominator goes to the top. The first thing with division basics is the rules. And if you look over here at these rules, positive divided by positive is positive. If you notice anything, these rules are the same as the multiplication rules from the past. Negative divided by negative is positive, positive divided by negative is negative, negative divided by positive is negative. So make sure you get these down so that you can look back at them. The next part of the rules is just being able to understand how these things look. So this is the longhand division box. The numerator will go inside, denominator outside. Numerator on the left, division sign, denominator on the right. In a fraction, numerator on top, denominator on the bottom. So we should be able to switch between these three versions. So I'm just going to do a little longhand division in three situations. The first one, I'm going to divide out, and if it needs to go to decimals, we're going to continue into decimals. Second one, if it needs to go to decimals, we're actually not going to write it as a decimal, we're going to write it as a fraction. And I'll show how you can make it a mixed number. And then the last one, we'll do whatever seems easiest. So we've got our division here. 435 is the first one. That one goes inside the box. 12 goes outside. So we've got 12. 12 can't go into 4. It can't divide into 4. So we've got to go with a 2-digit number at the least. So 43. So we need to figure out how many 12s we can use to get close to 43. One way to do that is to count by 12s until you get past and then go one back. So if we'll do that, 12, 24, 36, 48, okay, we went 3, and 3 12s made 36. So then we just subtract here. 43 minus 36 is 7. When we do that, we need to bring down our 5 and make this 75. And again, we can count by 12s. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, okay. So it looks like 6 times. And that was 72, which is going to leave us with 3. Now this 3, we used to call it a remainder of 3. Now we're going to put a decimal point in, and we can add as many zeros as we want. So I'm just going to put in 1 0. When you put that decimal point in, you got to bring it to the top also. Bring our 0 down. How many 12s divide into 30? Again, we can count it out. 12, 24, 36, okay. Looks like 2 of them. 2 times 12 is 24. Leaves us with 6. Put another 0. Bring it down. Now count this. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Looks like 5 exactly. That's going to give us 60. Leaves us with nothing. So we're done. And positive divided by positive is positive answer. So it looks like 36.25. Okay, so we have that one for longhand division. Here's another longhand division version. 132 and 8 goes outside. Now notice on this one, I'm not putting the negative in here. I'll just use the negative to figure out the end result based off of our rules. So 8 into 13, 8, 16, okay, so 1. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. Okay, so 48 looks like 6. Okay, in this one, now I'd have to go to the decimals, but I don't want to make this one a decimal. So actually, what we do is we use our remainder, and we create the fraction 16, and this remainder actually goes as our numerator of the mixed number, and our 8 was the denominator, so it goes on the bottom. So this is really 16 and 4/8. And we could reduce that right now. I'm not worried about reducing. I'm just looking at the straight division. Last one here. Oh, and here we had negative divided by positive. So this would be a negative answer. So better get that negative in there. Okay, now we have 78 divided by 6. 6 into 7, well that's ones. I don't need to count that one out. Then 18, 6, 12, 18, so exactly 3. So this one comes out perfect at 13. Negative divided by negative is positive, so we'll leave it 13. Now, for decimals, we don't do much different than integers, except we have to change the problem a little bit. So what we do is we can't have a a denominator that has a decimal. So what we do is we move the decimal out. So here I've got to move it 1, so I'm going to make this negative 22. And however far you move the decimal in your denominator, you also have to move in the numerator. So this one has to move 1 spot. So this is 69.52 divided by negative 22 instead. Instead of counting it out loud for you, I'm just going to try and go through this as quick as possible. It's going to be 3 makes 66. Leaves us with 3, bring down a 5. Let's bring up our decimal point. We're going to write it in decimals. We want to bring that up. 35 would be 1. 1, 3, 2. Okay. 88, 110, 5. So 6 would be 132, and that's 0. So we've got 3.16, but it was positive divided by negative. Positive divided by negative would be a negative answer. So this is negative 3.16 based off of that math. Again, we have to do this for this problem. We have to move our decimal point 2 spots to make it 8, which means we have to move 2 spots here, which means we're going to have to put a 0 in. This is going to be 8, 6, 4, 0. So notice no decimals here. Should make life a little easier. 8, 6, 4, 0 divided by 8. 8 into 8 goes once. So this is going to be 8 into 6, which is 0 times. Bring down a 4. 8 into 64 is 8 times. This leaves us with 0. Leaves us with 0, and there's no more numbers, so we can't divide into 0, so it's just 0. We do need the placeholder. So this is 1080. Now we have the dreaded fractions, but as you're going to see, these are actually pretty easy. How we do that is I have a little memory thing, which is called KCFM. Sounds like a radio station, but it'll help. The K stands for keep the first fraction. So this one's going to stay the same, -6/5. C means change to multiplication. So instead of division, we're going to change to multiplying. The F means flip our second fraction. So 4/7 should become 7/4. And then the M says multiply. So if you remember from last time, we just multiply straight across. 6 times 7 is 42. 5 times 4 is 20. Negative times positive is negative. And then we would reduce this fraction. So just a little practice with that. I'm going to divide top and bottom by 2. And get -21/10. Okay, here we have mixed numbers. Well, as we saw, it's really easy to divide if we don't have mixed numbers, so we're going to get these out of being mixed numbers. So we're going to go 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So we've got 5/3 divided by 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5/2. And now we're going to use our KCFM to divide this. So 5/3 times 2/5, and we just multiply straight across. And we get 10/15. 10 divided by 15, we can reduce that by 5, not 2. We can reduce by 5, and that will create 2/3. Alright, this was some practice on division. If there's anything that you missed or you need to see again, please pause, rewind, and rewatch, and bring any questions that you have to class. Thank you.